You've connected to Cisco Unplugged.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cisco Unplugged. I'm Dan Klamert, your host, and I'm here again with Al Dumdei. How are you doing today, Al?
Hey, good, Dan. I had to pull the normal "Where is Dan at?" right? So since you're home today,
or should I say aloha, Al?
Yeah, aloha. Yeah.
And mahalo for getting up so early.
Yeah, we're at in Kona for an IEEE conference this week. So
Nice, excellent. Nice.
Beautiful location. Not a lot of time to enjoy it, but a beautiful location for sure.
Yes. Yeah,
So
beautiful backdrop.
so everybody enjoy this.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be just staring off, dreaming into the the beautiful background there.
Exactly.
To catch me, let me know. All right. So, and this week in episode 67, we're going to be discussing Workflows, a centralized automation platform for cloud and on-prem management. So we did a little bit of a change here. We had something out there on the schedule, and we've did a little bit of shuffling of the schedule. And just want to thank our guests here for coming on short notice due to the schedule change. But I'd like to welcome back to the show Darshan Patel. How are you doing, Darshan?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing very well and looking forward to have more episodes this year.
Yeah, sounds good. You're welcome back anytime. Great to have you. And then I'd like to welcome to the show here Arun Paul. How are you, Arun?
I'm doing good, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you. Thanks for coming. And also Clint Sorenson. How are you, Clint?
Great, Dan. Thanks for letting me come and join.
Of course. Yeah, anytime. Thanks for being here. So before we get rolling here, real quick here, we are broadcasting this on YouTube, and you can get access to this content and all the other great content out on our channel at youtube.com/@getunplugged. And I'd encourage you to go out there to subscribe, click the bell button to be notified when we are going live with other great content. And, be sure to like the videos out there. It helps the algorithms and others find the show. So thanks for that. And so I think that's it here. We do have a schedule out there as well, real quick, just a reminder. So I did mention the schedule, but if you go and you look on our YouTube page, right under the first, under the header, the first link there is a link to our schedule of upcoming episodes. You can see what's also coming down the pike here for future episodes. So with that, let's get unplugged here. Let's talk about workflows and how they're going to make our lives easier here. So I'll turn it over to you, Arun.
So just a little background. Arun and I had a conversation about this in an airport one time. Arun, you did this for Cisco Live, right? You did some work with workflows.
Yeah, I did a workflow lab alongside Clint Sorenson. So he did a session, plus I did the workflow labs.
Okay. So you two did that together. Okay. And I mean, being a hack when it comes to a coder, when he mentioned this is kind of a low code or no code solution, I thought, hey, this is really good because I'm probably not the only hack out there, but having this option where you can have robust code or robust solutions that are customizable without having to write a ton of code to do it seems like a really good solution. It allows us to kind of centrally tie all these different platforms together, right? So, I mean, I assume you're going to kind of go into that a little bit today and maybe take us through how that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would put it this way. The workflows makes automation accessible to every Cisco administrator, irrespective of his scripting skills, right? So scripting skills was one blocker for the usual Cisco admins to try automation unless he's really good at Python, and so this pretty much clears that blockage. Anybody can code now. That's the best part about workflows.
Nice.
Let me go ahead and share my screen. I just pulled up a few slides that we had at Cisco Live. So again, this is a part of the unified platform vision from Cisco leadership. Like I said, it's a low code or no code style of automation by using drag and drop of pre-built functions called atomics, right? What we used to execute using APIs per platform is now built as an atomic, which has a specific function. Like, for example, we can have an atomic for getting all the serial numbers of our routers. We can build an atomic, if you are a Meraki administrator, you can build an atomic that will pull out all your organizations and all the networks under those organizations, right? So this basic fundamental building blocks of automation is already taken care, right? So you jump straight into the functionality. You have a specific task to be executed, and you can drag and drop pre-built atomics, add logic to that, and create a workflow. That's the big change that we bring using Cisco workflows. So let's look at the new approach here. So it's cloud hosted on the Meraki dashboard. It's launched in Cisco Live 2025. You will see the new automation tab pop up on the Meraki dashboard. It doesn't mean that this is an automation platform only for Meraki. We use the Meraki dashboard to launch this automation across every Cisco product line, including Cisco Catalyst Center, Cisco SD-WAN, Cisco ICE, and even third-party integrations like ServiceNow. So the atomics, like I said, is being consistently developed and improved. Most of the common functionalities per platform, you already have it in the atomics. We can use those to create our workflows, and we can even share those workflows, collaborate with others. We can, use Cisco Exchange to later on publish those workflows, get it validated by Cisco and published so that it's available to the public.
Now, Arun, just a quick question on that. You say it's in the Meraki dashboard. Do we have to be a Meraki customer to use this tool?
Yeah, that's a good question. So anybody can create a dashboard, right? This is available under the early access program. So you just have to go to the early access, enable Cisco workflows, and then anybody can create a Meraki dashboard admin account and start using workflows. The reason we chose Meraki is not because it's one of the most commonly used cloud platforms out there. So it's one common launch pad across all the Cisco platforms that we currently have. And it reduces the complexities that we have by using specific set of APIs for a specific platform. Like we had our own APIs for Catalyst. We had separate set of APIs for Meraki. Now it's all under a common automation team. It's developed by a common automation team that would launch those atomics into the Cisco workflow. You generate workflows which can be even executed across multiple targets. Like let's say one of the examples we were thinking of showcasing today is a Wi-Fi readiness workflow where you can create a workflow which will create, let's say, an SSID for Wi-Fi 7, or you can create a RF profile for Wi-Fi 7. And let's imagine you're a big university where you have both on-prem and Cisco's cloud solution like Meraki deployed. How do you execute this one workflow across multiple platforms, across Catalyst Center and Meraki? That's something that is possible now using Cisco workflows. All right. So there's a few screenshots that shows a subset of platforms that's available. It's available across Cisco Catalyst Center, Cisco ICE, Cisco SD-WAN, the Meraki. And even it would integrate with third-party solutions. Like, for example, if you have automations that will work on ServiceNow, you can pull that in. Let's say you already have your Python scripts ready. You don't have to reinvent that. You can use your existing Python scripts in the workflow, right? And you can build on top of that. So it pretty much is a tool that makes your automation journey much more easier. And for somebody who has never tried automation, this is the best way to start that.
So to understand it, is that a correct assumption, Arun, that this is a single cloud platform that we can, like a person like me who did Python before but forgot again, and we can actually create the task like step by step, and the word that you use, atomic, we can use APIs to accomplish what we can accomplish with a Python script?
Yeah, so
Curious to know more about it.
Yeah, so I think the key takeaway here is that if you're comfortable doing Python, you can continue that way. But for most of the functions, like you're writing a code to get a job done, right? What if we have a predefined set of atomics that will get that job done? Like, for example, in Meraki, usually every automation starts with getting the API key from the user so that we can inherit all his credentials and his access rights. And then we need to get the input of which organization we're going to execute this automation against, right? So with those two things, you pretty much can build any automation. Now, those are the first steps in any Meraki automation. So now we have predefined atomics, which will get that job done, right? Plus, in Python, the major overheads is about getting the Python script running. You're worried about the automation platform more than the actual function that it does, right? You're worried about setting up the variables. You're worried about the error conditions. How do you debug a Python code, and how can you execute, the same functionality across, let's say, an on-prem solution versus a cloud solution. So you have to reinvent another script that will work for Catalyst Center versus Meraki. Now you can have purpose-built automation in workflows, which can be run against what we call as targets, right? So Catalyst Center is a target. Meraki is a target. ServiceNow is a target. And you can associate your credentials with that target, save it in workflows, and it'll be easier for reuse later on if you're creating a new workflow later on.
Yeah. So I could not wait to learn more into what is atomic, what are the targets, what actually my API keys, and how can I share with the extended team. So I'm looking forward to that demo.
Yeah. So again,
Sorry, real quick, maybe before we get into the demo, can you tell me, is there an additional cost for this, or is this, how do I, if I want to use this, is there?
That's the best part. That's the best part. It's no cost, right? Anybody who's got a Cisco platform can now launch workflows on the Meraki dashboard and start using it. So yeah,
very cool. That's
zero cost.
And another point, I just want to share, just from my own personal experiences, I used to do a lot of automation just within my own team, and the struggle for me as a customer was, where do I house that automation at? Do I have some server that I'm housing it? And then how do I make sure that the credentials are safe? And how do I make sure that if I'm on vacation, someone can run the script? Because a lot of times when we're hacking, like you said, Al, the hacking was, I do it all on my laptop, and that's where I'm running all these things from. And or maybe I have some VM in the data center, but really there's not a lot of security constructs around that. And so this sounds like a great opportunity for us to bring it to a centralized location and manage it that way.
Yep. And Darshan asked me a question about how do you share your automation with others. So in the end, when you build an automation in workflows, eventually you will build a JSON script in the backend. So you can very well export that as a JSON script, share it with your peers, or and they can download the JSON script and start executing it in their environment, right? So it's easily shareable using JSON. You can use your GitHub. If you're a GitHub user, you can save that in GitHub, reuse that in GitHub. Plus, this is something where we are working towards. There's a Cisco workflow exchange, where if you think that, your automation is something that solves a common use case, we can submit it to Cisco. It'll go through validation and Cisco validated design and verification. And they use that workflow to create a framework for that functionality that you're trying to solve. Now, with that, you're not passing on your credentials. They can import the workflow, key in their own API key so that, you're authorized to execute that in your environment. So like Clint said, you don't have to really hard code your API keys with this. You're just setting up the framework for that functionality. End users can use their own API keys to run that in their environment. All right. So this is a screenshot of one of our workflows, which we demoed in the Cisco Live. And you can see on the left-hand side is all those atomics, and these are all categories of atomics. Like you can see atomics under Cisco Meraki. So most of the common Meraki functionalities would be available under that. You have Cisco Umbrella, Thousand Eyes, You even can run it against an HTTP, right? So if you want to poll a website and parse a specific number out of that, like for example, if you have a website that tells you what's the latest available firmware, stable firmware for a build, you can key in the credentials and it'll go get the latest build. You can use that as the input for the next function that you're calling. So it's pretty dynamic, right? You can use your existing scripts. You can integrate it across multiple platforms, and it's pretty much a drag and drop. I don't have to think about the script, but rather think about the end functionality, drag and drop, and get the things done.
Hey, Arun, if I want to get started in this, what's the best way to do? Is there something like on DevNet, or I mean, what's the best way? I'm thinking of the Hello World Python script kind of thing, right? How do you get started with this?
Of course. So there are Cisco Live sessions which walk you through a few of these things. There are also going to be learning sessions on workflows, what are the best practices and stuff. But I think to get started, frankly speaking, my learning curve was pretty steep. It was, we had atomics being built, and when we did not have atomics while we were demoing at Cisco Live, I could use generic API. So if you're somebody who's comfortable with using Cisco's APIs, and if you're comfortable with a specific platform, you can start there. Or you can even start by calling in, one simple sleep command. Start executing it against a target, right? So I can show you one of my workflow.
Hold on, just before you jump into that, I think we have a Cisco community site that has exactly what you're asking for. We have a Cisco community site that starts you with exactly that, the hello world of workflows, and it's really fantastic as you go through the steps on that. Our product team's done some great videos, as well as they have their own YouTube channel that comes in with that and walks you through the video of each step as you go through. So if you've never ever done anything and you want to start from zero, we have that with our community site, and we can share that with you as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. Maybe we could include that link along the way here someplace.
I can put that in the description of the episode underneath.
Yeah. Great feedback.
Awesome.
Arun, the demo that we talked about, but before we jump into it, one thing that my customers keep asking is, we now have Wi-Fi 7 or Wi-Fi 6E last year, and we want to deploy WPA3 SSID, or how to make our existing SSID using 6 gigahertz ready. So if you can present something around that demo, that would be really cool.
Yeah. So that's the, we launched Wi-Fi 7. We have a new set of APs. We are opening up the 6 gigahertz spectrum. Plus now there is new requirements for WPA3. Now that brings in a new question of what do we do with our existing SSIDs? How do we have a common SSID that will work with our older clients and the new ones, right? Till we get almost 80% of our clients on Wi-Fi 7, right? So this is where, as an architect, we can decide what part of your coding has to be, predefined, and what you want to leave it to a local admin. Like, for example, naming of an SSID, you don't have to hard code that. You can leave that to, a network admin who has his own standards on how to do that. Let's say you want to leave, the RF configuration, a few parameters in the RF configuration, right? To the network admin, you can do that. So in one of the automation that we have done, so let me walk you through the dashboard and the look and feel and what has changed in the Meraki dashboard. This is an older Meraki dashboard, which I use to manage my network. This is a new tab that's been introduced. It's called the Automation tab. And under the workspace is where we define new workflows, right? And remember, we mentioned about using the Meraki dashboard as a common launch pad to execute workflows against multiple platforms in Cisco. So those are defined as a target, right? So when you talk about targets, if you try to create a new target, you can walk through all the different target types. You have Catalyst Center, you have Catalyst SD-WAN, Cisco ICE. So you can define these targets once, set the associated API keys, which will inherit your credentials, and save it for once, and then you just worry about automation at the end, You just worry about the functionalities that you're trying to address here, drag and drop the atomics, build it, and just run it against the target that you want, right? So let me try to show you the automation script that will create.
One question before that. If I understand it correct, if I build it and if consider I'm running a K-12 and I'm a central administrator, I build it, but there are administrators for high school or middle school, and they have responsibilities to run it for certain schools to make it operate it and make it right. And they have only read-only access. Will they be able to go ahead and run this workflow without write access? And I do not have to share my API keys to them.
Yeah, that's right. So you can actually, so when you open up your workflow, this is a workflow that I imported using a JSON file. It was a predefined workflow. So under the credentials, to answer your question, Darshan, you can either use the admin workflow, or you can specify that, you use as API key at the start of the workflow execution. So that way, instead of changing the admin privileges for that read-only admin, you can now define an API that will work only for scripting, right? So that way, once you verify the script, you set what can be modified in the script and what are the user inputs that you can take, what are the standard settings. You get all the advantages of automation, like scalability, avoiding configuration errors, but still provide the flexibility and scalability by letting even a read-only admin execute your automation.
This goes back to what Clint mentioned before, that, hey, we do not have to share our API keys.
Yeah.
And even when I'm not there, we can still continue to have the world roll in and can deploy the changes. Oh, that's cool. Let's learn more about it. Please, sorry.
One point I want to bring up too is if you look up on the right side, it says automation rules. You could actually tie this workflow to a ServiceNow ticket or something to that effect. So you could ask someone to do, they could ask for a catalog item, which then would allow it to call a webhook here and then perform it. And so all of the requests and the permissions and everything can be done outside of this system. And then this will just go through and run the automation on the back end to be able to configure what it needs to be done and then report back, or even close a ticket if there was a ticket opened. So there's some really powerful integrations with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me just try to browse through and see what we have here, right? So I'm going to try to expand on the Meraki atomics, right? So when you expand on that, you can see we can even call in a generic API request. So if you don't find the atomic that you're looking for, if that function is not yet built, you can use generic API. Anything in Meraki is API first, right? So while the feature is being developed, they're going to develop the APIs first, and all the internal calls happen through APIs. So if a function is working, there is an API for it. So you can use those generic APIs to fill in those gaps we may have right now in automation. But what I've done is, if you look at our script, the flow is pretty much what every automation script in Meraki would look like. That is, I save my variables, which will have my org ID. The org ID is nothing but that unique ID that identifies your organization. This organization is, I think, 5-6 years old, so you can see a very small org ID key over here. I have saved that org ID in here. I have saved my targets, which will point to my home network, and the API key for that. So I don't have to hard code that in my script. And then the first atomic is going to use my org ID and my API key and pull out which organization I have admin access to. From that, it's going to pull out all the networks I have admin access to. And you see that I don't really have to worry about saving these in variables. So the result of that is stored internally, right? And when I pull up the next script and next atomic, I can refer to the variables as the output of this thing to be used as an input for the next one. That pretty much takes away the biggest headache in scripting, which is how to control the local variables and global variables. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You get your job done. Just focus on the objective here, which is to define a new Wi-Fi 7 and set the RF profile for Wi-Fi 7. But what I've done here is I have paused the script at this stage, asking for the user inputs, where the user can key in the parameters for SSID and the parameters for the new RF profile for Wi-Fi 7, right? I don't want to completely hard-code it. At least the local admin knows what he's doing. He has few variables, and you can decide what to expose, what not to. And then it go ahead and pushes that across multiple sites. So if I choose to push this configuration to 5 out of 7 sites that I own, it will be running a for loop, and it'll execute it across all those sites, right? So it's pretty easy. And when I need to save something which is outside the scope of this, that's when I may need to define a variable like how you would in automation and save that. And in the end, I even have a predefined atomic that will validate the response, right? So what if it is successful? What are the things that has been changed? What if it failed? What are the things that has changed, right? So when you run the script, it gives you a detailed report about what changes has been made on your network, or if the script failed, why it would have failed. So the debugging is much easier. Right? So let me try to execute this just to show you,
You changed the target credentials, remember?
Okay, I'm going to just go back and open the thing once again. View the workflow.
All the way down to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, credentials.
Okay.
Use the target credentials. Yeah, wait, go back. Edit this part out.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Ready and start. Hit the validate.
I may need to validate that again because so the validation is something which is like error checking within your code. So any change you made, it'll tell you if there was a logical error or mapping error.
Yeah, that's cool. That answers my question from before when I was seeing the column with the status there, whether it was validated or not. So
yeah. So I'm going to start running it, and you can see the color codes in there. It is being run. That's blue. Once it is run, it's a green. As simple as that, right? And it is stuck on a task, which means that the script is now paused for a user input. And if I go to the user tasks, right, you can see a task associated, a prompt associated with the script that I'm running. So you can see the definitions here, right? These are the user inputs that I have opened up for the end admin. Identify the network. So I can choose it on a single network, or I can modify the script to allow multiple networks where I can push this configuration at once to multiple. This version of the script, I've chosen only one network. We are defining a Wi-Fi 7, right? And we have older clients. So I'm trying to push a Wi-Fi WPA 3, which is a requirement, but I want to use transition mode so that I can use the older clients in there. SSID name, I'm going to put it as Wi-Fi 7 SSID. SSID number in Meraki. Again, this is a script which is meant for Meraki. I gave the description in here because we can define up to 15 SSIDs on the Meraki dashboard. I'm going to choose this as the SSID 4, which means it's a 5th SSID. RF profile name, I'm going to name it as Wi-Fi 7 RF profile. And then, again, if you choose to hard code this, we can do that. But I'm trying to see, what all options I can open up to the end user. So I'm going to select my 6 GHz spectrum as 18 here, and the 5 GHz as 20, so that I get more channels. Save. And I'm going to complete, check the runs. And you can see it proceeded and success, right? So that was a successful execution. And I can go back to my dashboard and look at the new SSIDs that has been created. The best part is you can also use the AI assistant. So once we reach the stage where we have workflows defined for each of those functionalities, and like you said, if it's a read-only admin, he doesn't know which workflow is for what, but he has access to all the workflows that we have already done. Plus, he has access to the Cisco Exchange. We can ask the AI assistant to really find a workflow which will get the job done, right? So we can say, create a workflow to define Wi-Fi 7 SSID and RF profile. It's going to go through and check all the workflows that's available, and it found two of them, right? It found two similar looking ones. So he's asking which version of that do you want to execute? So this is the one we did in Cisco Live. I'm going to go for number 1. And it is pretty much running through that workflow, right? Pulling all the details out for me. It's saying within the scope of this workflow, this is what you can do. And it asked me, do you want to confirm to proceed with this? So this is for somebody who has no idea about automation, but he knows that he has to get the job done. So if we as administrators and architects have defined certain approved workflows, they can search for it, find something that is relevant for the task, execute that. It's as simple as that. Darshan, I remember you also had tried something out with the access points. And again, we did this with when we had no training videos available, we were just dragging and dropping and testing these things out. Do you want to share that, Darshan?
Sure. Let me go ahead. So I started trying to figure it out, how to make it work. And
while you're doing that, one of the things I love about this is we talk about agentic AI and about allowing our AI to go and do something. And the scary thing about agentic AI is you need guardrails so that it won't make changes in your network that you don't want. And that's typically called hallucination. And this really is nice because with that, you can build an automation for AI to be able to go and make changes if it sees something happen.
Actually, that's a really good point because I get asked that a lot when we talk about AI. It's like, what are the guardrails? How do I know this thing's not going to take down my network, right? And that's a great point. If you have predetermined workflows and it's just executing predetermined workflows, it's a known outcome at that point.
Yeah. So what I did is I started experimenting. I met Arun. I heard up with Clint and then with Al as well. I'm like, workflows is the next big thing. I will love to. Oh, looks like it can also detect my audio. I do not want it to.
It's always listening.
4,166 TB.
What is Darshan's bank account number? Hey, didn't
Using workflow blink LEDs.
Yeah, I had to give it a try.
Yeah, worth a shot. Yeah.
Rising. In the meantime,
I like that. I like that the AI. Oh, whoops! I like that the AI actually understood you really meant blink LEDs, and you said blank LEDs.
that's right. Let me go ahead and see what APs do I have in my network. And based on that, I will go ahead and select one of the AP serial number here and come back. Yes, please. Yes, please. Ah, there we go. That also provides a lot of great information. So as Arun shared, lot of good information out there. I have created this Blink Meraki device LEDs. I was able to import it. So that one definitely helped. The second thing, one of the workflow that I really liked, if you have multiple organizations and multiple networks, but you want to have selected devices that you want to upgrade, and you can schedule that firmware based on the tags if you assign. Hey, I want to import or upgrade only the Charlotte-based access switches, and it will go ahead and create that tag and upgrade only that on a Friday night. Similarly, I got like, Arun is giving me, he can only create it. Let me go ahead, figure it out, and create a WPA3 ready. So I went ahead, created this workflow trying to get that information, like Arun explained with Cisco Managed Atomic. It's basically an API. Before I used to use that API information pull, and then now it can directly do it from Meraki dashboard. We can read that table and then execute the existing Python script. So one-stop shop to make it work your existing SSID to be a WPA3 ready. That's all. I was just getting started. I'm looking forward to explore more what it can do.
Now, we've been looking at workflows on Meraki, but it's obviously it's launched on the dashboard, but we wouldn't have to do this on the dashboard, right? You could connect this up with Catalyst Center, with ICE, with a number of other, it doesn't have to be, if you don't have a Meraki solution, you have Catalyst Center, for example, and you want to use this to automate things on Catalyst Center, you could do that. You'd be doing it from the Meraki dashboard, but it's really affecting your Catalyst Center. Is that a fair statement?
That's even really right. Sorry, Arun. I just wanted to go ahead and share. We already have some of the workflows shared at GitHub for Catalyst Center. And please go ahead, Arun.
Yeah, so even better, we can create workflows that is platform independent, right? So, for example, the stuff that we did, Wi-Fi 7, we have campuses that has both hybrid, kind of environment. There are dorms running on Merakis and their main campuses on Catalyst Center. We can have specific functionalities written down on workflows so that every time there's the configuration change, you don't have to do it twice. You have one automation script, standardized, and you can run it across two different targets. That's what the uniform platform strategy is all about.
Yeah. That's even more impressive, right? Because now you can, it's bringing cloud and on-prem together via a common entity like that. So that's
super powerful.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys wanted to share with us yet? Is that just?
I'll just pipe in for just a little bit. Just a summary. One of the things that I love about workflows is not all of our products can do everything. And a lot of our customers say, hey, you know what? I really, really like this, but you just can't do it. Or in your previous version, back in Mars, I could do it this way or something else like that. And they really wish we kept XYZ, feature or automation or piece like that. And the one thing I love about this is I am able to help the customers find ways to get what they're trying to do without waiting for a development team to do this or an integration team to build the integration. And you talked about Meraki and ICE, and I can't tell you how many times people have said, hey, I wish there was just a way you could add the APs into ICE when we create them in Meraki. And I showed someone how to do that very quickly, and then they were giving me hugs and high fives afterwards. And this is brand new. So there's so much potential available to this. And the beauty of it is too, is it's the same automation platform that we're using within our security architecture too. So if you've had examples, or if you are working with the security team and they're doing something with our XDR platform, that'll integrate with this as well. And it's the same engine. So if they need, and if they know how to do stuff over there, they can have you help do that over here as well. So we're really excited about the potential and the integration between our platforms to make it one true Cisco system.
And what I took out of all that was, if you need help, Clint will work for hugs and high fives. That's so. If I, as I start struggling through this,
I'm easy. I'm a simple man.
Yeah. We also need to look at how this has changed the accessibility to automation, right? Earlier, we need to have automations, folks who do the automation. We have architects who design the actual workflows. There's a lot of collaboration needed, and there were blocks, right? In creating these tasks done. So now automation is accessible to every Cisco user, irrespective of his scripting skills. Anybody can start drag and dropping and try to see how it works. So now our automation is out there, available to everybody, accessible to everybody, irrespective of your Python skills. That's, I think, the best news here. Yeah,
definitely, that's great news. Looking forward to getting into this more. So we may have another episode at some point on this, but this is really, really interesting stuff. So it's still, I know it's probably a couple years old, something like that, but probably still fairly early in its life cycle. So a lot more to come here.
Yep. This was launched Cisco Live, because we used to work on, when we were working on our Cisco Live project, we didn't really have this. It was launched a week before Cisco Live, and I had to redo my presentations all over again. So it's just 2 months old. That's it.
It'll be generally accessible this month if it's not already there. So that's exciting.
Okay. I knew it's been around for a while, but maybe just not as a full-fledged product then. So
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up for today. Appreciate you guys doing this. This is a really good information. Maybe we can get that link out for the Hello World kind of thing.
Yeah, we'll get that for you.
Yeah.
And get it posted out. But enjoyed this, and appreciate everybody's expertise and expert feedback here. So
I forgot to mention, Al, we have here 2 episodes in a row here now where we've had an author on here. So.
Oh, that's right. We have another author. That's right.
Arun, we forgot to mention that at your intro. So I don't know if you want to plug your book here.
So Arun wrote a book on Meraki, right? Isn't that what it?
Yeah. So now there are 2 Meraki books. There's a friend of mine from Australia. His name is Simarjit Singh. I did the Meraki Fundamentals book. That was a first book on Meraki, and now Simarjit, he covered the security side as well. So there are 2 topics on Meraki. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Yeah. Well, and thanks. We've had some awesome guests here. Appreciate you guys, Darshan, Arun, Clint, Cisco Live speakers as well. So it's been a pleasure and honor having you here. This was really cool. I guess we're just kind of, like Al said, scratching the surface here of this workflows, and really excited for what more is going to come here. So anything else we want to cover? I think we're good. I don't see any other questions. So with that, thank you guys very much, and appreciate your time here. As a reminder, we go out there on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@getunplugged, and hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified when we do go live with more great content. And if you do want to reach out to us, you can email us at getunplugged@cisco.com. Any questions or feedback on the show or future topic suggestions, or you can reach out to your local Cisco account team. They know how to get a hold of us as well. Or you can also send us a message directly on X, Twitter, Unplugged 80211, or on Threads at Unplugged Connectivity. So with that, thanks a lot, Al. It's a great episode. Aloha.
Aloha.
Yeah, aloha. And until next time, stay connected and unplugged.
All right. Thanks, Dan.